Hello, my name is Mackenzie Carr, and I'm an actuary for Aetna, a CVS health company. And I have a few different motivations for wanting to become an actuary. So, my senior year of high school, I was applying for colleges, wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. Up until that point, I thought that I wanted to be a band director. I was always heavily involved in band and anything music related, and still am to this day, but realized that I did not really enjoy the teaching aspect. I enjoyed the playing aspect and keeping it more individualized for myself. So I had to think about, okay, what else am I good at? What else do I enjoy in school? And I was taking AP Calculus and AP Stats at the time and really enjoyed it. And decided to look into what can I do with math in college. And funny enough, the college that I went to, which was in my hometown, had just started an actuarial science program. And I had no idea what actuarial science or what being an actuary was at the time, so I did some research, talked to some people that were actuaries, and found out that the career involved math. It was, computer based. Typically, actuaries were working 9-to-5 jobs, which was what I was looking for at the time, a stable career. And I also found out that actuaries can work in many different career fields as far as life insurance, health insurance. Some actuaries are more economists. Some actuaries decide to go an investment banking route. So there was really endless opportunities with becoming an actuary, and I decided to pursue it. So that's what I started my freshman year in college. I started the actuarial program at my college and really enjoyed all the classes that I started taking, was doing well in the classes, enjoyed the rigor, found them very rewarding. And then I, had to decide, okay, is this actually what I want to pursue for a career? So I did some more digging, learned that for the actuarial profession, there are exams outside of college that are required to become credentialed. So kind of like how an accountant has to get their CPA to be credentialed or qualified, actuaries have to get what's called an ASA to become credentialed, or an associate. And then there's also a next step after that if you want to become even more credentialed, which is a fellow. And I surprisingly really enjoyed that. Okay, after college, I'm going to be taking these exams for a few years because they are very rigorous and typically take about 5 to 7 years outside of college to complete. But also learned that I can kind of shorten that pathway if I started taking exams in college. And even though I was very involved in activities and had a large course load, I decided to take on the challenge and push myself because I knew that this would be a very rewarding career, both with the work that I was doing and financially. And as a first generation college student, that's really what I was seeking to get out of my college degree. So I take my first actuarial exam my junior year of college, and I fail miserably. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do as far as studying and practice exams and questions, but I just had no idea what it took for these exams, and that was really hard to accept because I was always one of those students that excelled and got all A's and had a really high GPA in college. And when I failed, I immediately was like, oh, well, maybe this career isn't for me. Maybe I shouldn't be an actuary. Maybe I don't have what it takes. And it was really hard to accept at first, but I took a few days after the fail and came back and was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I can do this. If other people can do it, I can do it too. So I started studying again. This time, did some more research, talked to some actuaries, and tried to figure out what it actually took to study, the best study methods, what would work for me. So I spend 6 months doing that and then go to sit for the exam again, and I fail again. But this time I got a score higher than I did last time. So it scored 0 to 10. The first time I got a 4. This time I got a 5, and 6 was passing. So I was right there. I was so close. And that was probably even more frustrating than the first fail, because I was really close. So I took some more months and studied some more, and then I sat again for the exam and passed with a 6. So I was right there, but I passed. And the feeling I felt after passing that exam was nothing that I had felt before. I felt so accomplished. And I was like, if I can feel like this after every exam, then, I want to keep doing this. So long story short, I continued taking some exams. I took 2 and passed 2 in college, and then I got my first full-time job with Aetna/CVS right after college and started, and have been here for 2 years and have passed, 4 more exams outside of the 2 that I took in college. I love my work. I love my coworkers. I find the work really rewarding because I am making a difference in health insurance, which is one of, the biggest expense for people in the U.S. And if I'm able to do anything to impact those costs and, really make an impact in people's lives, whether it, they know it's me or not, that doesn't matter to me. Just to know that I'm doing something rewarding and that's helping people, and also something that I enjoy, is really rewarding to me. I don't, they always say if you get a job you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and I really feel like that's true. Do I have days where I don't want to go to work? Yes, of course, but the majority of the time I enjoy being here and love my career. I'm Mackenzie Carr, and that's my story on why I wanted to become an actuary.